Yo, what's up guys? It's Mike, sixpackshortcuts.com. So today's topic we're going to talk about is high repetition to help you build bigger muscles. So I always talk about heavy weight builds big muscles, and it's true. Heavy weight will force your muscles to get bigger. If you lift lightweight all the time, you're not going to be able to get bigger because your muscles don't have a reason to get bigger, right? You have to force it to grow. You have to rip those muscle fibers, recover, they get bigger, stronger, the whole process repeats. So how does lightweight helps that equation? So I realized this a while ago and stuff, and I've been kind of thinking about this. I want to share this with you. This is something I haven't really talked about. On my body personally, let's say bench pressing. So I've been benching for a long time. And what I realized though is all these years of benching, I would go pretty heavy. You know, the highest repetition I usually go is max about 10 reps, besides maybe warming up. But besides that, I'm always staying around 6 to the 8 rep range. And did my body get bigger? Absolutely. My shoulders got really big for a while, triceps were so-so, and chest was I was thinking about it, and I was like, wow, so how do I get my chest bigger, Well, I can just throw on more weight and keep on going. I tried that, and eventually my chest would get a little bit bigger, but it never got to the point to where it was very, very impressive for a while. Now my shoulders kept getting bigger. Why is that happening? I looked at other body parts of mine, and there are some body parts that actually grew very well. For example, my biceps. So I looked at my training on biceps, and I looked at my training on chest, and I go, what's the difference between the two? Am I just genetically, having a crappy chest versus, having good biceps? I mean, what's the deal? And as I started looking further in, I realized one thing. When I was doing my bicep training, I always incorporate a combination of high repetition along with low repetition, or basically lightweight and heavyweight. I never just stuck with only heavyweight. But yet, when I trained chest, I always stuck with heavyweight, and that was it. I rarely did lightweight. And I realized that the reason why my biceps grew when I did a combination of both lightweight and heavyweight is because the lightweight did not build more muscle, because you need heavy weight to build muscle. But what it did for me though is it helped me contract. It helped me control the biceps a lot better and helped me get deeper contractions. The reason why is because the weight's a lot lighter. So I don't need to incorporate so many secondary muscles. I don't need to incorporate so many stabilizing muscles to get the weight up, right? I don't have to cheat as much, or I can just have really controlled reps, and I can really just allow my biceps to squeeze, right? Shorten and lengthen and shorten and lengthen and really just work my biceps. Versus when I'm doing heavy weight, I'm squeezing my biceps, but I'm also working everything else to try to get the weight up, right? So it doesn't allow the contraction to be as hard. Well, what I realized though, by combining lightweight with heavyweight, lightweight trained my contraction to be really, really good, while the heavyweight allows me to go ahead and grow those biceps. If I did not have the lightweight training, my contraction during my heavy lifts would not be as strong. And therefore, I'm not able to apply all the heavy weight into the right muscle I'm trying to work. For example, let's say if I'm curling 80-pound dumbbells, right? It's pretty heavy weight. And I used to do it all the time. But it's cool if I'm doing 80-pound dumbbells if all 80 pounds is going to my bicep. But what goes on a lot of times though is if you're curling very, very heavy, you probably have maybe 50 pounds going towards your bicep and the other 30 pounds get spread around, right? That's why you start moving your body. That's why you start to do cheat reps, things like that, because the actual muscle that you're trying to work can't handle the full load. Well, when my contractions were a lot harder and I'm able to control the muscle a lot more, what happened was when I still do the same heavy lifts, I'm able to allow the muscle that I'm working for example, my biceps, to carry more of that 80 pounds. So instead of having, let's say, 50 pounds of work in my biceps, I was able to incorporate maybe 60 pounds or 65 pounds. And I'm just throwing these numbers out just as an example to basically show that it's very important that you use the right muscle, that you use the muscle to lift the actual weight. Because if you don't, then you're just basically lifting weights and you're not concentrating on certain muscle groups, and whatever grows just grows. And that's how people have, big, massive bodies, but it's not very aesthetic. It doesn't have really good muscle bellies. They don't have a lot of good shape. And so that's the difference between the two. So going back to what I was talking about on my chest, that's something I realized because my chest contractions weren't ever like really good like my bicep contractions. And that's what made me think of, making this video for you guys. Because over the past few years, I started doing a little more of higher repetition on chest along with the heavy weights, and it's helped me a lot with my chest workouts. It helped me be able to have harder contractions when I squeeze, and I can actually feel my muscles pump a lot better, and the contraction between lengthening it and shortening it to be a lot stronger. Even especially on my heavier lifts, to where you're growing on those exercises, or you're growing, with those lifts. Any of you guys that are training to try to put on a lot of mass, if you've been only doing heavy weight, try throwing in some lighter weight along with it. Now, you always got to do heavy weight if you want to get bigger, but those light weights, those light sets are definitely going to help you with the muscle contractions and build a stronger mind-muscle connection, allow you to be able to utilize and control your muscles a lot more. So when you do lift heavy, it will be a lot more effective. So I hope this helps you out. And again, this is just something that I've learned through these years. Now, I haven't done any type of scientific research, so it could just be my personal opinion on it. But either way, I want to share it with you guys because personally, it has worked for me and I feel the difference. And I'm currently feeling the difference now as I'm trying to bring up my chest even more. So just something I wanted to share with you guys. Hope it helps you out. And as always, more workouts and nutrition. Check out sixpackshortcuts.com to get lean and ripped for 2014. See you guys there. Peace.